I grew up in rural southwestern Ontario, in a small community called Port Albert. It was great, but sometimes country living does require you to find imaginative ways to entertain yourself, like playing in a gully or peeing on electric fences. Fortunately, I'm one of 8 children in my family, which meant that as a kid I always had plenty of playmates to keep me busy. One Saturday afternoon, in the middle of winter, my younger brother Nicholas and I came up with a brilliant way to pass the time and make a few bucks in the process. We issued a challenge to our 3 older brothers. The bet was simple. If Nicholas and I successfully ran around the house, our big brothers had to pay us $5, and their mission was to stop us from making it around. There were a couple rules. Number 1, each of our big brothers was assigned a side of the house to guard, and they had to stay on their side. If Nicholas and I managed to slip past them, they weren't allowed to follow us into the next brother's territory. Rule number 2, while the other brothers could bundle up as much as they pleased, Nicholas and I had to run the snowy gauntlet wearing nothing but the shortest shorts we owned. The east side of the house was guarded by Damien. Damien has always been an ideas man, a crafty fella known for designing his own toboggans and conducting psychological experiments on his siblings. Well over 6 feet tall, Damien was certainly a physical threat, but also the kind of guy who might set a tiger trap or engineer a snowball cannon to wipe us out. On the north side was Chris, or Critter as he's better known to us. Critter appears to have been born without the ability to adjust his intensity levels according to the situation at hand. While most people get more serious and more competitive as the stakes increase, Critter always operates at full blast. Euchre game against Grandma? Maximum intensity. Friendly croquet game? Maximum intensity. Tic-tac-toe against a 4-year-old? Oh, you better believe he's playing to win. So the fact that this was a $5 bet against his 2 little brothers didn't matter. Critter's competitiveness would be dialed to 11. And that left the west side of the house, defended by Dan, the oldest kid in our family and a natural-born leader. With his charisma, it wouldn't have surprised me if we rounded the corner to find that Dan had rallied an army of neighborhood kids to stop Nick and me. Indeed, we had substantial opposition ahead of us. But with $2.50 each on the line, we were ready to pull out all the stops. Despite our concerns over Damien's devious mind, he was surprisingly easy to outsmart. Nicholas and I charged forward together as if to clothesline him, but at the last second we broke to either side, splitting before he could grab us. Now safely past the borders of Damien's territory, we were met by Critter, who wasted no time attacking us. I managed to sidestep the charging beast, but Nicholas was not so lucky. Critter had caught him. Dan stood ahead of me, the last obstacle between me and victory. My bare feet were painfully frozen, and I wanted nothing more than to get back inside the warm house. But I couldn't leave Nicholas behind. Bellowing like a madman, I turned around and raced back to save my little brother from the clutches of Critter. Naturally, my heroic efforts failed miserably, as Critter easily brushed off my attack. He then proceeded to drag Nicholas back to the east side of the house, where Damien waited, itching to get his revenge on us. Damien grabbed Nicholas, wrapped him in a bear hug, and dropped to the ground, rolling him around in the snow until he had no choice but to give up. With Nicholas dealt with, Critter got his hands on me, pinned me to the frozen ground, and shoveled snow in my face until I also surrendered, forfeiting our $5 fortune in the process. Looking back, I could have easily just kept going without trying to save Nicholas. Assuming I got past Dan, I could have emerged victorious with a cool $2.50 in my pocket. But I probably would have felt pretty lousy about it, knowing I had abandoned my comrade in arms. Our snowy gauntlet got me thinking about how we define success and how we tend to gauge it according to achievement. What job we've acquired, how much money we make, what ranking we get in a race. And while achievement is great, I think it's an incomplete model of success. Yes, what we do matters, but how we do it is even more important. I'm not saying dismiss achievement from your definition of success, but by weaving how into it, we get a better, kinder interpretation that allows anyone, regardless of their position in life, to demonstrate success on a daily basis. So at the end of each day, go beyond asking yourself what you did, and ask yourself how you did. Were you kind? Were you patient? Were you engaged in the moment? By looking at success in broader terms, you empower yourself to feel accomplished and satisfied in between the milestones of achievement. Yes, I failed to complete the snowy gauntlet, and yes, I ended up with a face full of snow in the process, but I'm happy with how I did it, and that's not nothing. If you like this story, check out my book, Misadventure Musings, Lessons Learned from Life's Awesome and Absurd Moments. An illustrated collection of 40 true stories from my life, Misadventure Musings uses humor and storytelling to give practical advice on overcoming obstacles, work-life balance, and more. Find out what being blindfolded and left in a farmer's field taught me about failure, what my so-so odds at beating cancer taught me about asking for help, or what lying in a puddle of puke taught me about tunnel vision. It's self-help with a sense of humor, personal development with a punchline. So whether you're looking for some inspiration, a few laughs, the perfect gift for someone, or are just really keen to find out what a kayak full of leeches can teach you, visit badgeofawesome.com and order your copy today.